Summer is here, and everything you need for adventure is waiting at ShockShop.us. Gear up with camping essentials, stylish bathing suits for fun in the sun, reliable generators for every outdoor trip, kayaks, dinghies, and water toys for non-stop excitement. From backyard fun to lakeside escapes, ShackShop.us has it all. Shop the summer sale now and save big at ShackShop.us.
Crystal Harris is once again speaking candidly about one of the most discussed chapters of her life, her marriage to Playboy founder Hugh Hefner. Years after Hefner's death and following the release of her memoir, Harris has continued to reflect publicly on the emotional impact of living at the Playboy mansion and the lessons she says she learned about identity, self-worth, and personal growth. Her recent comments have sparked renewed interest in her story, with many people discussing how fame, power, and relationships can shape a person's sense of self. While Harris acknowledges that her life experiences ultimately helped her grow, she has also made it clear that if given the opportunity to make the decision again, she would not choose the same path. Crystal Harris became a public figure through her relationship with Hugh Hefner, the legendary publisher who transformed Playboy magazine into one of the world's most recognizable entertainment brands. Their relationship attracted intense media attention from the beginning. The significant age difference between the couple often became a topic of conversation, and every major milestone, from their engagement to their wedding, made headlines around the world. Today, however, Harris says she looks back on that period with a very different perspective. Instead of focusing on the glamorous lifestyle that many associated with the Playboy mansion, she has increasingly spoken about the emotional realities behind the scenes. According to Harris, she gradually lost sight of who she was as an individual while trying to fit into a world built around someone else's expectations. She has described reaching a point where her own identity became secondary to maintaining an image that others expected her to project. For decades, the Playboy mansion was viewed as one of Hollywood's most famous homes. It hosted celebrities, athletes, musicians, actors, and political figures, becoming synonymous with extravagant parties and celebrity culture. To the outside world, it represented luxury and exclusivity. For Harris, however, life inside the mansion became increasingly complicated. Over time, she has explained that living in such an unusual environment affected the way she viewed herself. The constant attention, public scrutiny, and pressure to maintain a particular image eventually took a personal toll. She has said that it became difficult to separate her own wants and ambitions from the role she was expected to play. One of the themes Harris has emphasized most strongly is the feeling that she gradually stopped listening to herself. She has spoken about placing the needs of others ahead of her own, something she now believes caused her to lose confidence and independence. Looking back, Harris says she wishes she had recognized her own value much earlier in life. Instead of making decisions based on what truly made her happy, she believes she often chose the path she thought others wanted her to take. Those experiences, she says, taught her an important lesson about protecting one's identity regardless of circumstances. Crystal Harris and Hugh Hefner's relationship remained one of the entertainment industry's most closely watched romances. The couple famously experienced ups and downs before eventually marrying in 2012. Because Hefner had become such a legendary figure in American pop culture, every development in their relationship generated enormous media coverage. The marriage continued until Hefner's death in September 2017 at the age of 91. Since then, Harris has gradually become more willing to discuss both the positive memories and the difficult experiences she associates with that period of her life. A major turning point came when Harris decided to write her memoir. Publishing a deeply personal book required revisiting memories that she says were often painful. Rather than simply telling stories about celebrity life, Harris chose to focus on emotional healing and self-discovery. She has explained that writing allowed her to process experiences she had kept inside for years. The memoir also encouraged readers to think about how easily people can lose themselves when living according to someone else's expectations. Harris says reclaiming her confidence did not happen overnight. Instead, it involved years of reflection, therapy, personal growth, and learning to establish healthier boundaries. She has spoken about discovering the importance of making decisions based on her own values rather than seeking approval from others. Friends and supporters have praised her willingness to discuss topics that many people find difficult to address publicly. Her openness has resonated with readers who have experienced emotionally challenging relationships of their own. As Harris has shared more about her experiences, public reaction has been mixed. Many supporters have applauded her honesty, arguing that people naturally gain new perspectives as they grow older and reflect on past decisions. Others have debated whether it is fair to reassess relationships years after they have ended. Still, much of the conversation has centered on the broader themes Harris raises: identity, independence, and emotional well-being, rather than celebrity gossip alone. Mental health advocates have noted that her story reflects issues many people experience regardless of fame. Hugh Hefner remains one of the most influential and controversial figures in modern publishing. Supporters credit him with helping reshape conversations surrounding sexuality, free expression, and media during the second half of the 20th century. Critics, meanwhile, have questioned aspects of Playboy's culture and its treatment of women. Those differing views have continued in the years since Hefner's death, particularly as former residents of the Playboy Mansion have shared their own personal experiences. Harris has emphasized that her story reflects her own perspective rather than attempting to speak for everyone connected to Playboy. Perhaps the most important message Harris now shares involves self-worth. She encourages people to trust themselves, recognize unhealthy situations early, and avoid sacrificing their own identity to satisfy others. According to Harris, genuine happiness begins when individuals understand that they do not need outside validation to determine their value. That lesson, she says, took years to fully appreciate. Today, Harris appears focused on building a life that reflects her own priorities instead of public expectations. Rather than being known solely as Hugh Hefner's widow, she has increasingly embraced opportunities to speak about healing, resilience, and personal growth. Her interviews, social media posts, and memoir all point toward the same message. Understanding yourself is an ongoing process, and it is never too late to reclaim your voice. She acknowledges that she cannot change the past, but she believes she can choose how she interprets it. While Harris's comments naturally attract attention because of her connection to one of America's best-known media personalities, many observers believe the larger story is about something far more universal. People from all walks of life sometimes find themselves losing confidence, compromising their values, or placing someone else's needs ahead of their own. Harris's reflections have become part of a broader conversation about emotional health, personal boundaries, and the importance of maintaining one's identity in relationships. Whether readers agree with every conclusion she reaches or not, her willingness to discuss these experiences publicly has encouraged conversations about self-respect and growth. As more public figures speak openly about mental health, healing, and personal transformation, Harris's story joins a growing body of first-hand accounts emphasizing that success, fame, and wealth do not automatically guarantee happiness. For Harris, the journey appears less about rewriting history and more about understanding it. She says the experiences she endured ultimately taught her to value herself in ways she had not before. Although she regrets certain decisions, she also believes those experiences helped shape the person she has become today. That perspective continues to resonate with many people who see parts of their own lives reflected in her story. It serves as a reminder that while no one can change the past, everyone has the opportunity to learn from it, rebuild confidence, and move forward with a stronger sense of purpose. As public interest in Crystal Harris remains high, her message continues to evolve beyond headlines and celebrity culture. At its core, it is a story about rediscovering self-worth after years of searching for it in the wrong places, a lesson that reaches far beyond the walls of the Playboy Mansion.